Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about LCX. It's been a very long time, actually, since we've talked about LCX. So let's just dive in and let's start with this. So we do see real estate tokenization is a way of expanding the traditional real estate sector into the digital world. Now, we've been talking about this for a very long time. This is nothing new on this channel. We've been addressing tokenization within the real estate market for a little bit of time. Honestly, we've been talking about this for almost a year and a half, believe it or not. And I like to see it now really kind of picking up some traction. It's very exciting. And when we look over here, we do see going back to June 20th, 2022, we do see real estate tokenization. Real estate is a very diverse and boundless industry. Real estate tokenization is a way of expanding the traditional real estate sector into the digital world. Integrating blockchain technology into this industry can transform its liquid market into a liquid and digital real estate investment market. And of course, this is going to be centered on DLT. And we do see real estate tokenization. Tokenization of real estate converts its value into tokens that are used to raise funds from investors. It allows the conversion of real estate into fragmented assets and represents them with digital tokens. Each token can represent a property with reserved rights and obligations. All this is made possible because of smart contracts, which carry out all the contractual details of the deal. These tokens can be traded on an online marketplace. The token purchaser will earn the ownership rights to that particular asset portion. And of course, the need for it is down here. How does it work? Types of real estate tokenization. You have residential, commercial, trophy real estate tokenization. You also have single real estate tokenization, and you can read exactly what these are. And then down here, we have the advantages. Now, again, we've been looking at this in terms of multiple areas to focus on in terms of advantages. Most of it is centered around high volume liquidity, so really kind of bringing liquidity to an illiquid asset class. By the way, very large asset class. We're going to get to that here in a second. Globalization. Geographical barriers are broken with tokenization, as it allows you to invest in tokens from any part of the world. Transparency, fractional ownership. This is where you could basically be an investor with $5 into a real estate property that's worth 300 trillion, for an example. And we do see lower transactional costs, no intermediaries, automation. This is really kind of streamlining the entire stage of this entire asset class. It's going to be very large, in my opinion. And when we look at this asset class, this is a $326.5 trillion market. It is extremely large. And when we look at Dentons, so Dentons actually posted this. It was a researched. It was a full-on research method of what's happening around real estate. Now, of course, they say that this is about like 200 million in terms of 40% of the digital securities market. So tokenized right now, we have about 200 million or so. This is not much at all. And again, this was back in September of this year. And it really kind of broke down things around NFTs and tokenization and how it could really be disruptive for the real estate market. And we do see a few areas of interest. It could represent ownership of a part of a real estate property or a real property, ownership of the entire real property, an equity interest in an entity that controls real property, an interest in a debt or in a debt secured by real property, or a right to share in the profits generated by real property. And they do break down the first advantages and all that kind of stuff, the first ones that were actually, achieved and all that kind of stuff. And then here are the benefits. So low barrier to entry, ability to create liquidity, and of course lower transactional costs. Key considerations regarding it are securities law implications, reconciliation with law registries as well. Now, again, with all of this in mind, I do think that the future is extremely bright around this. I think that they even have the future down here, like the future of real estate asset tokenization will change the way people invest in real estate all over the world. Tokenization offers enormous advantages to the real estate industry, from providing fractional ownership to enhancing liquidity to automation. The only issue here that we actually have is that this is going to take a little bit of time to blossom out fully. I'm not saying that this is, we're too early to this, but no, it's the idea that like we still have a lot in planned around like regulations. Like there's still a lot still to morph into reality, if you will, around regulations, around full-on disruption from tokenization. But it is starting. It's starting small. 200 million out of 326.5 trillion is a stepping stone, but I do think that at first it will start small and then it will morph into something much larger in a very fast way. I think that within the next, give or take, 3, 5, even possibly 8 years, which is a very good time frame, by the way. Like by 2030, I could see this market being extremely large around real estate tokenization. I do think that it's great that LCX is really kind of focused on this. Obviously, they're not building out a full-on, use case around this or, platform, but I think them being ahead of the game here and really kind of tokenizing securities is perfect for them. And I think that this is a great way of not only being in this area of focus, but also really kind of preparing for the future around this specific disruption. So it's great for them to jump into a $326.5 trillion market and kind of be a disruptor in it too. And talking about regulations, talking about things like that, I do think that LCX has a little bit of I think that they're one step ahead of most because they are like fully regulated in most of the areas around the world, which they have mentioned in the past, especially when the SEC went after Coinbase for insider trading, and they mentioned LCX as a security token, which I thought was pretty interesting. And by the way, if you guys do want to learn more about their regulations and stuff like that, I think that they have the full-on breakdown over here. So yeah, in 2020, LCX has gained regulatory approval of 8 registrations in accordance to the blockchain laws, and they even mentioned this, and you can check out the registration. They also have a full-on, they have a lot of things up here. I mean, like they are a member of the World Economic Forum and all that kind of stuff. Like it's pretty substantial nonetheless. But here they are, in terms of the LCX founder and CEO, Monty. He attended Lugano Plan B event and shared his experience and knowledge regarding how to raise millions in an initial token offering, which a lot of people will say, well, that's a security mechanism, but this is the legal way. And they fully break this down over here in terms of everything going about this. Like they are ahead of the game in terms of regulations, which is very good to see. You want to see that if you are investing a large portion of your money into something. I do think that them being ahead of the regulation curve is great. And also over here, why is regulation good in crypto? Offers more stability in the market, increases protection and confidence, offers safer crypto ecosystem. LCX is a regulated crypto platform. And a lot of people will say like it's not good for crypto. It's comical to see that, right? Like if you want to see crypto be massively adopted and fully the value of it fully morph into reality, then you would be a supporter of crypto regulations. Now, again, I do also have my own considerations around crypto regulations. I always have my own criticisms around it as well. I've always said we need to have regulation that not only supports innovation, but also continues to allow it to blossom in its own way. I think that there is a case to consider around over-regulation and things like that. So I definitely want to say I'm focused on regulations that are going to support the growth of this industry as well as to really kind of propel it into a new level of value as well as volume coming in from some major entities. And talking about that as well, I also want to be fully transparent with you guys on how large LCX is in terms of their ecosystem. So obviously, I'm sure that a lot of you probably know that they already have major partnerships with some of the biggest names in the game. A few that I've always loved to mention or of course like Hedera, Chainlink, Constellation, and this is like for their infrastructure. So these are like a lot of their major partnerships in terms of the infrastructure. You could check out the legal and regulation. You could also check out the markets, crypto compliance, policy, data, research and development, which they do have a partnership with Quant in this area. If you want to look into this, you guys are more than welcome to. This is to advance CBDC settlement implementation around DLT, and this is a big partnership in my opinion as well, but again, you guys can look at that however you want. They also have a partnership with Digibyte, F1 Delta Time. I also like to see in terms of like the policy, you could check out things around like the World Economic Forum, which I know a lot of people are against the World Economic Forum. I think that there's a lot of things that are negative around them. But a lot of these projects that are mentioned on there, it's something interesting to say the least, but we do see why LCX is here. So furthermore, in 2019, LC's management team, engaged in several closed-door World Economic Forum workshops on central banks in age of the blockchain technology. I do think that LCX is going to be a big player around the new financial system. Why do I say that? Because we do see here the goal of this work was to co-design frameworks for new blockchain and DLT use cases that may address challenges such as international interbank settlements, digital currency regulation, central bank issue digital currencies for domestic citizens, and know your customer, as well as anti-money laundering implications. And again, them being a main partnership with Quant around settlement with CBDCs really kind of gives me and paints a picture to me on how this is going to kind of work. Also, if you wanted to look at some of the other partnerships here, like for example, like the Hedera Hashgraph one, you could read that as well over here. It's more of like I don't know if they have. So here's Hedera Hashgraph and LCX collaborate to develop infrastructure for digital security. So more so tokenization around securities. I do think that these two could benefit greatly for working on tokenization of real estate. In fact, Hedera actually has a partnership that is kind of hidden. It's with Red Swan, and they've been doing a lot of tokenization within the real estate market, which I think is pretty incredible to see. Also, Constellation Network, here's another major partnership as well. Constellation Network chooses LCX as a partner. I don't know what the scope of this was. All right, well, here we have it. So with this partnership, LCX and Constellation Network commit to the following things: supporting tokens, collaborating to use Constellation's hypergraph transfer protocol, integrate native wallets. So a whole bunch of stuff here, which is very exciting. And then last but not least, I just want to share with you guys one other thing, and that is this down here. So by 2027, more than $8 trillion will be stored on the blockchain networks. Now, this could be, and by the way, this is from the World Economic Forum. Now, this could be multiple things. This could be real estate. It could be anything. I mean, honestly, this could be pretty much anything that you could think of being tokenized. This could account for that volume, as well as value. It could be CBDCs or anything. So this is substantial. I mean, $8 trillion is no joke. And if you're talking about by 2027, that's 5 years down the road now. I think that with what LCX is doing, with all of their products, by the way, they have a large amount of products. And I've always said, like, a lot of their products are extremely high tier. Like even Salamander, if you want to go over to their decentralized exchange, I mentioned this multiple times on this channel as well whenever I talked about their product offerings. A lot of their product offerings are extremely high quality. Like I've never really seen anything this high quality in crypto. I mean, like obviously there's other major projects that are extremely high quality, but like, you know, a lot of their offerings are like this, and I don't have my wallet connected, so it's not going to be able to show me anything like that. But a lot of their product offerings are extremely high quality like this, and I think that that's very exciting. And when we look at LCX right now on the screen, I have been accumulating this one heavy because of where we are at in terms of the chart. For an example, if you look here, I mean, right now it's kind of doing what Hedera Hashgraph's doing, what other tokens are doing until they start to break out. It's kind of going sideways here, so I like to see a floor being built out here, and it looks like there's quite a bit of support here. But I would like to see one last major test of about 4.5 cents. I think that that would be a safe range to really kind of go heavy in, at least on my end. But I have been accumulating so far, and we need to break out of like the 7.5 cent zone to be into a nice bullish standard. But we recently went up to an all-time high of about 54 cents back in November of 2021. From our bottom here, if we can get, by the way, just so that you guys know, if we can get in at about 4.5 cents, just to the all-time high would be about almost 11x opportunity. And I'm looking at this. If we can make enough noise with it already being on some major exchanges, I'm looking to see if this thing could pull a 57x opportunity to about $2.63. We'll just say $2.60 in general. This would be about a 52x opportunity run, a $2 billion market cap. That's it. A $2 billion market cap. And just to let you guys know, if we get into like the top 25, at the current market caps of these tokens, this would be about a 91x opportunity sitting at about $4.53. Now, could this thing go much higher? Like for example, to the 2.272, which we have been seeing a lot of tokens kind of, you know, hitting that area on their run-ups. This would be about a $14 LCX. I'm not saying that this is going to happen, but this would be a $10.9 billion market cap, a 284x opportunity. So pretty crazy, honestly. I really do think that the upside on LCX is going to be substantial. I would more so be looking at some main targets of like the dollar range to about like $2. I think that that's a safe area to look at. I really do think so. But we have to watch this thing long term, see what happens. But I have been accumulating in this range at about like roughly 4.5 cents to 5 cents. I think that's a safe area. You guys know me. I have been buying this thing heavy. I recently was I was posting back in like July and June and maybe even August, I think, when I was buying this thing, and it was at like 5 cents, 5.5 cents maybe. I mean, I'm in the water on some of them or under water on some of those buys, but for the most part, I do think that long term this thing is gonna be a big success. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, to notifications on. If you guys want more free content, you guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, hope that you all have a beautiful day, beautiful night, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.